Just when I thought I've seen everything, I was wrong. Oh boy, I was wrong indeed. Not too long ago, I posted a video about protests that are going on around the country. How all these people all over the place are, just refusing to obey CDC guidelines, refusing to wear masks, refusing to wear gloves, and refusing to social distance. Well, apparently things have only gotten worse, especially in the city of Chicago, where TMZ reported 1,000 people attended a house party, although I believe that it might be a typo. I think they accidentally pressed an extra zero, because I don't think that there's any property on the west side that's big enough to house 1,000 people. Plus, there wouldn't be nearly enough parking spots for all those people. But either way, let's just say that there was a house party where a lot of people were standing shoulder to shoulder. I got some video of that, and I'm going to roll that clip right now.
You can't even move in this bitch. Damn, sis, I got that on live. Get out, sis. How the fuck she fall? What's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? And I ain't never cracked the car, got it off the beat. Cause on some real shit, you can get it off the beat. Hey. I ain't going down there. And I'ma get up at the jam if the police come. Hey! Oh, try to trick me, that's why I strapped up before I give a bitch a quickie. She sucked me like a hickey. Glock got a beam, if you run, you get Ricky. I'm in the Maserati for riding the 650. Just bought the model bitch, she wanted to ride with me. My BM kinda picky, she don't like it, then I'm sissy. My trigger finger still get itchy.
Alright, I don't even know what's more cringeworthy. The fact that so many people are packed into one room, throwing a house party during a pandemic, or the fact that this bitch really thinks that she can fucking rap. I mean, bloody hell. I mean, I wouldn't trust this bitch to rap a burrito at fucking Taco Bell. But after this story blew up and hit the news, she went on Facebook, and she had this to say. Y'all sound stupid as hell. So what y'all gon' do when they reopen everything back up? What y'all gon' do when they say y'all could go back to work? I'ma tell y'all what y'all gon' do. Y'all gon' rush to them stores and y'all gon' rush back to work. And where y'all think the virus gon' be? Still here. Y'all ass don't think past go and believe anything the next mother MFer tell y'all don't think about what makes sense and what do. Yeah, I got invited to a party and I went. Then y'all mad over a party when y'all go out to stores, Food for Less, Walmart, Target, and touch all type of shit after somebody else had already touched it. That box of cereal you feeding yo kids was probably put back by someone who had the virus. Now this my last stat, I'ma finish letting whoever think that whatever faith over fear, God got me and mines. Put yo mask on, pop out. Now let's address the first problem here. It says, y'all sound stupid as hell. Alright, like, my thing is this, who the fuck talks like this and writing a Facebook status? Y'all. I mean, who writes the word y'all that many times? I mean, you use it like fucking 14 times in one fucking status. I mean, you can tell this bitch is not only illiterate, but she has no idea how viruses even work. Alright, it says right here, y'all gonna rush back to them stores and y'all gonna rush back to work, and where y'all think the virus gonna be? Still here. No. The virus only survives on surfaces for up to a few hours to a few days. So, if you social distance and you stay the fuck inside of the house, you're not gonna be exposing that virus. And also another thing, it says, y'all mad over a party when y'all go out to stores. Food for Less, Walmart, and Target. My thing is this, you have no choice. When you go to Food for Less and Walmart and Target, you're doing that shit because you need to buy food. You need to buy supplies. You need to buy water so you can drink. What the fuck are you guys doing at a fucking party? That's not even essential. I mean, you can survive pretty much. Hell, I've survived years without going to parties. When I was young, I didn't go to. I mean, I turned fucking 26 tomorrow. 26 tomorrow. Alright, I can't even throw a fucking party. And even if I did, why the fuck would I want to do that and expose all of my friends to the fucking virus? I don't know whether they have it or not. And another thing, a lot of people are asymptomatic, which means that they could be infected with the virus and they might not even know it. So you're over here, drinking with this other guy and sharing a blunt with somebody else, and you could be sharing a blunt with somebody that probably had the COVID virus, and now you got it, and now when you go and see your nana, now then your nana has it, or if you have kids, which I know you do, you have like 2 kids, now they could possibly be exposed to the virus, and you want to say, oh, leave my kids out of it. Lady, you brought your fucking kids in this by exposing them to the fucking virus because you only cared about your fucking... You and all the other people that went to that fucking party only cared about your fucking selves. Now, the United States right now currently has 56,000 cases. I'm sorry, 56,000 deaths because of COVID-19. The Chicago area alone is a hotspot for COVID. Alright, in England it's like, I think 21 or 22,000 deaths. I'll have to check back with the number. But this virus does not fucking discriminate. Anyone can get the virus. And another thing that I want to bring up, which I totally forgot. The mask doesn't protect you from the fucking virus. The mask is supposed to be used as a preventative measure. It doesn't make you immune like Superman. Oh, the COVID's not gonna get me because I wear a fucking mask. Well, here's the thing, alright? Well, you got 2 types. I'm gonna just tell you guys about the mask right now. You got the N95, which is mostly used by, medical personnel and doctors. I just happened to get my hands on one because I was lucky. There's also the surgical mask, which is what a lot of people are currently wearing, It's cheap, it's affordable. It doesn't offer as much protection as the N95, but at least you're covering your face. Now, the masks are only effective if you stay away by at least 6 feet, because that's the lowest chance that you're possibly going to catch the virus, if you're standing 6 feet apart. If you're standing shoulder to shoulder with somebody, even if you have a mask on, the probability of getting the virus is still very, very high. Do you not fucking understand this? Did you not bother going to the Center for Disease Control website or going for the National Health Center website, or I'm sorry, National Health System website, and then you have the nerve to put on the hashtag put your mask on, pop out. The mask isn't going to do a fucking thing. You gotta stay 6 feet apart. You gotta social distance. The mask only reduces the probability. And you have the nerve to say that we sound stupid as hell. Bloody hell, what the fuck do you sound like? What, you think you're fucking Albert Einstein? And that box of cereal you feeding your kids with was probably put back by someone who had the virus. Well, I've worked retail before, alright? It doesn't matter if it's a big store or a small store. Hell, I currently work at a restaurant right now. And we sanitize everything every 2 hours. Because the virus apparently can live up on surfaces up to 3 hours or up to several days. So it's a constant procedure that we do. Before the store even opens, we spend an hour cleaning, disinfecting, and sanitizing everything. Hell, you can't even use the washroom without, having to sanitize that after you use it. We're pretty much taking every precaution that we can, and I'm not only an essential worker, but I have family members that are essential workers. I work in the food service industry. They work, both at retail, some of them are hospital employees, and you're not making it any easier by doing this shit. And the thing is, you don't even fucking care. For those in my audience that haven't seen this other video that she posted, let me post you the video where she's bragging about trying to spread this fucking virus. I swear, this is a very sick person that we're dealing with right now.
Then they tell us y'all gonna put us on another lockdown. Bitch, we already finna be extended 30 more motherfucking days, so it don't fucking matter any fucking way. We out, fuck. Put y'all mask on and pop out, fuck. Yeah. Nah, cause they ass tweaking talking about some we got the virus. Bitch, hold on, where my mask? Yes, period, talking about some fucking, where my mask at? Cause they talking about some fucking corona. Bitch, I got my mask made personally with my name on it. They angry at my shit in my lap. Fuck coronavirus. Fuck the corona. Fuck the corona. Where y'all at?
Don't tell me to fuck this bitch up. Hey, look, I'm still the realest in the city. There's no money, no problems like Biggie. I feel it always in my family trying to guess me.
The plug war, fuck up the Gucci and gun store. This right there, pull up the cover of my tour. You flexing with some money, you know that's like one choice. More money, more problems, more bitch, more. That's what you need, you follow. I be saucing like a taco. In Chicago, I might just a thug fight. With that bitch, ain't trying to fuck. I get the winner, hold tomorrow.
It's really hard to watch that video without, my blood boiling. But judging by, all of the reactions to the post, a lot of people are also upset with her, so you have all of her friends that, they're cheering her on, but the majority of the country is looking at this bitch and saying, what the fuck is she doing? Alright, but another thing, you see her towards the end, throwing money around, flashing all the dollar bills. Well, let me just give her a swift reality check. The COVID virus, if you are infected, and if you do suffer from the symptoms, treatment costs, if you're uninsured, it's possibly you're looking at around $50,000. So yes, are you really... I don't know how much money she had in her hand. It looked like a couple of hundreds. But are you really going to risk catching this virus for $50,000 fucking dollars just so you can go out and have fun? Can't you spend that $50,000 on something else? Don't you have something better to spend that money for rather than COVID treatment? Just stay the fuck home. It's not really that hard. And another thing about her status, she posted another status that says talking about her faith in God and how God is going to protect her from the coronavirus. Well, I hate to break it to you, but this book will not protect you from COVID. In fact, it's fucking useless. It doesn't do anything. It's a stupid fucking book, and you're praying to something that doesn't fucking exist. What is wrong with you people? Bloody fucking hell. At least the Trump supporters, at least when they were going out protesting, they at least had a reason, because at least they were talking about, oh, well, I want to get back to work. I want to feed my job. I want to make money so I can take care of my family. But what the fuck is this party for? What the fuck are you doing? Dancing around with the gas station? Oh, I got my mask on. You didn't even wear your fucking mask anyway. And even if you did, it still wouldn't make a difference because you're not standing 6 feet apart from anybody. The last thing that I want to address, and this is something I originally was skeptical of because, I'm always skeptical of things that are on, mainstream media. But after doing much research, I found out that it's true. The majority of the people that have died from the coronavirus, from COVID-19, are people of color, mostly, black people, black British people, African Americans. Like I said, at first I didn't think that this was true, and then I looked at the statistics. Friend of mine, Mike, he does his podcast, and he broke it down piece by piece. And I'm gonna play a clip of that, so just so you guys can get informed of it.
It's almost impossible to comprehend what is taking place right now. Thousands of Americans are dying every single day because of COVID-19, and as this global pandemic continues on, it's affecting people that we know and love, and it's no longer just something that you see on the news. Like, this is getting really real. American lives are being lost, and it's something that is so hard to wrap your head around because it's so much devastation. The numbers are getting so high that psychologically, I think that our brain kind of, at least mine does, it shuts off in a way to where I guess it protects us, so we can maybe recover from this and move on when it's all over. But as we kind of grapple with this reality and we get more data, this virus is not impacting everyone equally. It is disproportionately taking Black lives, according to data. And I read a report from Vox that was just absolutely gut-wrenching. So as Fabiola Sinius reports, as of Tuesday, Black people made up 33% of cases in Michigan and 40% of deaths, despite being just 14% of the state's population. In Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, where Black people represent 26% of the population, they made up almost half of the county's 945 cases and 81% of its 27 deaths, according to a ProPublica report. In Illinois, Black people made up 42% of fatalities, but make up only 14.6% of the state's population. In Chicago, the data is even graver. Black people represented 68% of the city's fatalities and more than 50% of cases, but only make up 30% of the city's total population. In the South, the numbers are also grim. In Louisiana, Black people accounted for more than 70% of deaths in a state population that is 33% Black. About 33% of the state's 512 deaths as of Tuesday morning. In the South, the numbers are also grim. In Louisiana, Black people accounted for more than 70% of deaths in a state population that is about 33% Black. About 33% of the state's 512 deaths as of Tuesday morning have occurred in Orleans Parish, where Black people make up more than 60% of the population, and where 29% of people live in poverty, according to 2018 census data. Louisiana's first teen death, also one of the first teen deaths in the nation, was that of a 17-year-old New Orleans resident, Jaquan Anderson, an aspiring NFL player, according to local reports. On Wednesday, New York, deemed the county's epicenter of coronavirus cases, finally released preliminary data of COVID-19 deaths broken down by race, with 90% reporting in the state. 18% of deaths have been Black people, despite being only 9% of the population. In New York City, with 65% reporting, 28% of deaths have been Black people, while the city's population is 22% Black. Hispanics have made up the highest death rates in both the state and the city. 14% and 34% respectively, despite being 11% of the state population and 24% of the cities. Well before the novel coronavirus arrived at America's shores, Black people across the country, regardless of socioeconomic status, have lived with chronic illnesses, long-term health conditions like diabetes and hypertension at high rates. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Minority Health, the death rate for Black people is generally higher than that of whites for heart disease, stroke, cancer, asthma, influenza, and pneumonia, diabetes, HIV/AIDS, and homicide. When combined with COVID-19 in the body, people already suffering from chronic illnesses or from comorbidity suffer the worst health outcomes. The underlying conditions increase a patient's chance of hospitalization and even death. Some health professionals also stress that we pay attention to Black people with less prevalent chronic conditions like lupus and Crohn's disease, or those with renal failure who can't stay home because they must go outside for treatment like dialysis, as they may be more vulnerable to coronavirus too. In Detroit, where Black people make up 80% of the city's population, chronic illnesses have already created a lethal storm. Detroit represents 7% of Michigan's population, but 26% of the state's infections and 25% of deaths. So, that is devastating. I don't know what to say to that. It's really, really tragic. People who are already vulnerable in these positions, it's not shocking that they're going to be, hit the hardest by it. But when you kind of get it all laid out in front of you and you see the numbers, it's kind of just, it's a gut punch. Like, it's so hard to grapple with, right? Because, there's so much suffering going on right now that it's almost incomprehensible. So what do you do to help these people right now? Like, I don't know what the answer is. Is there a correct policy solution that we can implement? I'm trying to think through this rationally and, what we can do to have a real concrete effect on people's lives. But this is one of those instances where you don't really have an answer, and it's okay to admit that maybe we don't have an answer. Maybe we just do everything in our power currently to help people in need. And that's always, right? But certainly now more than ever. So, when you see this, people who are Black Americans disproportionately already going to be susceptible to these types of illnesses and whatnot, and poverty certainly doesn't help. It just makes for such a horrible situation, and whenever we all face these types of crises, it impacts them a lot harder. And this is true for everything. Like, this is the story of life. People in society who are already vulnerable are going to be the worse off whenever we have these types of crises. It doesn't matter, what it is. It's always going to be worse for them.
Now, you heard that and I heard that. And to be honest, I would say that I'm a little bit shocked, but at the same time, not really so much, because, there are certain, health conditions that predominantly affect African Americans, and also, people of color in England. Between diabetes, asthma, heart disease, heart disease is like one of the number one killers in the Black community. It's literally from the Center of Disease Control, they say heart disease is the number one thing. And then you have all these other sorts of, hereditary and pre-existing conditions, which only get worse if you have the coronavirus. I mean, it's one thing if you happen to be born with a good set of genes and you catch the virus and you're asymptomatic. I mean, yeah, you can still spread to others. That's why people stress to stay the fuck home. But another reason why it's as high as it is because a lot of Black people, especially Black Americans, work in these essential jobs. We work, the food service industry and the retail industry and warehouses and in hospitals and garbage workers, firemen, police officers. We cover a lot of the essential employee territory, and that's also another reason why we catch the virus. It's not even just that. Like, if you look at essential workers, across, the ethnic backgrounds, hospital workers and essential employees have the highest percentage of cases. The working class, we are the ones that are literally putting our lives on the line every fucking day. And when I see that video of you, sticking your middle finger up, saying fuck the coronavirus, what you're really actually doing, you're not just sticking your middle finger up at the coronavirus, you're sticking your middle finger up at everybody who's working their ass off and who has died, whether in the healthcare industry or whatever other essential industry. You're sticking the middle finger up at everybody who is literally busting their ass to make sure that this country is still running right, just so you can go out to a fucking house party. I don't think that selfish is a strong enough word to describe this person. This person is a fucking narcissist. This person is fucking dangerous to be around. And her friends out there encouraging her, encouraging her to keep spreading this virus, knowing damn well who it affects. And the fact of the matter is, this is a black person doing it. A black person doing this shit and not caring how many people fucking die. That should tell you a lot. That should tell you a whole fucking lot. But thankfully, this bitch, this stupid fucking cunt, is being dragged all up and down social media. And like I said in the last video, some people won't understand until it's too fucking late. I guarantee you, because Chicago has a lot of cases as it is, I guarantee you one of those people had the coronavirus, and one of those people was asymptomatic. And they're all standing shoulder to shoulder, breathing each other's oxygen. I guarantee you, sharing drinks and sharing blunts. It wouldn't surprise me if any of them brought them home to their families. And I mean, it's sad for me to even have to say this, but I can't even believe I'm about to say this myself. Apparently it's going to take for some of those people to die before they start taking this shit seriously. And being that this woman has kids, like, these are like, I don't know if these are infants or toddlers or whatever. She says she has kids. I can't even, I feel sorry for those kids, that the fact that they have such a dumbass of a fucking mother. I mean, this woman is, like I said, she's narcissistic, she's selfish, and based on her status and the way she's talking and her grammar, this girl is as sharp as a fucking marble. I'm really sorry. I'm starting to run out of things to say, because I'm just so heated about all this. But that's one of the reasons why I chose to play the song that you currently hear in the background. The song is called Carmageddon by Insurreal. It's a band out of New York City. I think they're, Queens, New York. I'm really good friends with, the guitarist, the drummer, and the bass player, pretty much everyone in the entire fucking band. And, well, I hate to say it, but when karma strikes, it strikes hard. Karma is a fucking bitch. And, we've all seen many cases of people, dealing with karma and the coronavirus. People claiming, oh, well, the virus isn't real, or why should I have to miss out on golf? And then those same people ended up getting sick and going to the hospital and testing positive for COVID-19. Or even worse, even worse, there was a lad, he was saying that the virus wasn't real and that it was a giant conspiracy to take away everyone's liberty. And the sad thing about it is that he actually died because he couldn't take it. He had a pre-existing condition, and that in combination with catching COVID-19, he wasn't able to make it. He wasn't able to survive. His wife is still around. I know he had a couple of kids that are still surviving, and they lost their father. Somebody lost their husband, and I don't want anyone to to learn the hard way. But unfortunately, this is the United States. This is America. Some people have to learn the hard way before they start to understand that their actions have repercussions. I know in England we really don't have as much cases. From what I understand, a lot of people are social distancing. Between Idris Elba catching the virus, he was the one advocating for social distancing, and shortly after that, the Prime Minister himself, Boris Johnson, he caught COVID-19, and he was hospitalized for a few weeks. Now, thankfully, he's recovering. You don't want to wish death on anyone, especially a country's leader, whether you agree with him or not. I personally don't consider myself a Tory, but even though I don't want anyone to fucking die of this fucking virus. I mean, it's real. It's devastating. It's killing a lot of people, and it's twice as contagious as the flu. So we really, I can't stress this enough. Wear your mask, distance yourself. Don't go to any parties and kickbacks or anything like that. And speaking of the whole thing of parties and kickbacks, if this were to happen in New Jersey, because our governor is really strict on the stay-at-home orders. In our state, if you were to throw a party like that, everyone would have gotten fined or arrested. Like the whole thing with the whole lockdown protest, or the people in Trenton, New Jersey. The leader of the protest got arrested, and everyone else got ticketed and fined. If you got money to spend like that, and you want to waste your money for paying a fucking fine and doing all this, then go right ahead. But at the same time, you have to think, you're putting our lives at risk. You're putting everybody in this country at risk. And if you really want to end this lockdown and get back to normal, follow the CDC guidelines. Follow the NHS guidelines. All right, the doctors aren't lying. The doctors aren't making this up. By helping these people, by helping you and everyone else, they're risking their own life. If you really want to, say thank you to the doctors and the nurses and all the other essential employees, law enforcement, food service, whatever, stay the fuck inside. Don't go to parties. Don't go out for anything that's non-essential. Cover your mouth when you cough. Wash and sanitize your hands. And just keep in mind, the mask itself is not a shield. It doesn't make you invincible. All it does is reduce the probability of you spreading it to someone else. You can still catch the virus. The lowest probability is if you're 6 or more feet away from somebody, or if you just stay the fuck home. And if you stay home, well, the probability of you getting the virus is practically none. So that's all I have to say. I know this video has gotten a lot longer than it should have. I hope that this is the last video that I make on the COVID-19 thing, but that just really pissed me the fuck off. I mean, I want to get back to normal. I want to go back. I want to, watch my coworkers, graduate. I want to, go to parties. I want to go to shows. I want to go to the mosh pit. I want to go to the bar. I want to visit my father. He lives in a few states away from me, and I haven't seen him since last summer. I really want to see my father. I missed out on my stepmother's birthday, and also I'm missing out on my own birthday. But this is a sacrifice that we all have to make for the greater good. We have to make we can't let anyone else die from this. We can't let it spread any further than what it already is. I mean, New Zealand has, from what I understand, they've had no new cases. So they completely, from what I understand, they completely contained the virus so far. I'll have to wait for updates on that. but we gotta follow suit. I know it's hard that you miss your family members, and you miss seeing your friends, and you miss doing all the things that you used to, but in the end, it's not worth it. It's not worth it's not worth risking your life. It's not worth risking anyone else's life. And that's all I have to say. You guys stay safe, stay metal, and you guys have a good one.